Hi everyone, and welcome to my very first Saturday Stash Dive for SNL as a new design team member. I'm very excited. I am paired up with Nancy, KittyScrapper, this weekend, and I'm extremely excited about this. The picture I am going to scrapbook today is one that my daughter Rachel took. She'd just gotten home from college, and we were on our way to her brother, my son's baseball game, and he drove. And so she had a little bit of a hard time with that. Of course, siblings are excited for each other during certain things, but I just happened to I was looking through my Instagram and I saw this picture come up, and she said, "Weird seeing my baby brother drive," and then she did hashtag he's growing up, hashtag I don't like it. So I thought it was incredibly funny, cute, and sweet all at the same time. So when Nancy and I were deciding what we wanted to do for the Saturday Stash Dive, for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure you do, but for my nursing school subscribers that watch my videos, what this is, SNL stands for Sandra and Lisa, and they are two friends that met up through YouTube, through scrapbooking, and they have made their own channel, and they like to use products that they already have. And so they have people that design for them, such as myself and a bunch of other fabulous scrapbookers here on YouTube, and we take turns on Saturdays pairing up, and we come up with a challenge for us. Whoever you're paired up with, the two of you come up with a challenge. And Nancy and I were throwing ideas back and forth. Oh, well, anyway, I'm sorry. So we come up with a challenge of products that we already have in our stash, just to help give other people different ways that they can use their products. More than likely, we all have these types of things. If not, you have something similar. So when Nancy and I were talking about what we wanted to do, I was like, well, how about using a color combo that we have trouble, putting colors together that we normally don't put together, or that we have, there's sometimes colors people have trouble using for whatever reason. It could be you don't like the color. It just could be you just can't think. Some people who really love pastels might have, or, bright, pretty colors might have troubles using grays and blacks, and vice versa. So Nancy really liked that idea. And she also came up, I left it up to her. I'm like, throw some colors out there and we'll see between the two of us which ones we have trouble using. So the color combo we chose was red, black, and white. I love all the colors. I've used all the colors, but for some reason, I don't think I've really put them together ever, if not that often. So we chose red, black, and white as a color combination, and we also threw in chalkboard pieces from our stash. So that could have been anything. So I just had some DIY chalkboard labels that I bought a few months back, but I had chalkboard type paper, and I also had cards from Project Life that were not necessarily chalkboard, but I turned them into the look of chalkboard by using white gel pen on them. So anyway, instantly this picture, and this picture is just taken a week or so prior to this video, and the colors were awesome. My son was wearing a red shirt. I have dark gray interior in my car, so it just went wonderful, and I was just wanting to do something a little different. So yeah, you're going to see some of these products that I finally get to use. I've had these Amy Tan script words in my stash for quite a few months now and haven't used one. So I was able to use quite a few in this. I knew I wanted to use her hashtag because that's what people do when they Instagram. They do this hashtag, all one word, all put together, saying or sentence or whatever, and I just thought it was adorable. She's not ready for her brother to grow up, and so that's what we're doing. I'm going through this Amy Tan Plus One 6x6 paper pad, and I picked out two things. One is, it says "Here we go," and then the other one has the days of the week, and this was a Monday night, so I'm just going to use that and circle the Monday night. I'm deciding to use my square punch, and I'm going to do a design I've never done before. Instead of cutting my paper as a square, I'm turning it kind of at an angle because I'm going to put these squares on their points and kind of like a diamond shape. So in order to do that, I have to cut the paper tips at an angle there so that my punch can fit, so I can line the designs up. I'm using the black with the white arrows, and I'm also using the black background with the cameras. And then the red was this design that the back side of the red paper was a chalkboard style black that I was going to use, but I don't have a lot of red paper, and that was kind of a surprise to me, that besides being a solid red cardstock, and this design is really funky. As you can tell on the screen, it plays with your eyes like that. It just kind of pops. It almost looks 3D-ish, and I decided to use pieces of it. And I'm just really, really pleased with how this layout turned out. And as I was making the layout, I was like, what am I going to do? Not really a panic, but I'm like, that's when I really realized I haven't put these colors together often. And so this was a bunch of fun, and I can't wait to see what Nancy comes up with, but I'm going to put her link down below in my description bar so that you can hop over and see the other half of our design challenge done by her. I went into my stash. I was originally just going to use those 2 pieces of paper, and I was like, I need something a little lighter, something to kind of marry it all together. So I had gone into my stash and got a couple more designs. This is some map paper, and I want to say it's out of a Heidi Swap paper pack that I got from Michaels. And here it doesn't matter how I cut it out because the design moves around because it's a map. And then I had some red paper here with some white and cream polka dots. And again, it doesn't matter how I use my punch on this one because it's just one pattern that doesn't matter which way it faces. It's going to be a polka dot. So I decided to use a white piece of cardstock also that's slightly textured. And it was the last piece in a paper pack. You probably saw in the beginning. You could see the pieces that were torn off from the paper pack prior. So this was the very last piece, so I'm happy I'm using that up. And because it's a plain background, I just liked using the texture side of this cardstock. Texture sometimes still just gives a little something, and it doesn't seem so plain. And I don't have any rhyme or reason. I just started putting these squares on their corner ends, so to speak, and I'm just making a grid design on one side of the paper. The other side is mostly going to be plain for my title and embellishments and such. So you will see me fiddling here, but yeah, Carlton, he's actually a really good driver. Both of our girls obviously drive. Rachel's 20 and Shelby's 18, and sometimes I have issues with them following too close behind someone, but for the most part they're all really great drivers. But Carlton's very cautious, especially for, you would think, 16-year-old boy, he's going to be driving reckless, speeding, all this other stuff, and he's really, really a natural driver. And what, Eric? All men are. My husband said all men are. Oh my gosh, this is my video, okay? No, I'm joking. Eric and I have this little thing all the time that men are better drivers, and I'm like, I don't think so. So anyway, no, I'm really proud of Carlton. I'm comfortable driving with him. I don't know if it's because I've gone through 2 drivers. I make Eric start it off. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When they first start driving, I'm like, Eric, oh, I was a hot mess when Rachel first started driving. I was petrified, and not so much of her driving, but of other people. And, because other people can be maniacs, and so you always worry about your kids, but now they're driving, that's a whole new set of worries. But Carlton is, like I said, a natural driver. He's pretty cautious. He's getting a lot more comfortable with, well, he's totally comfortable now with making turns, onto different streets and such like that. He used to be a little nervous if he was turning onto a road and there was a car already there. He didn't want to get too close to it, but then he was getting too close to the curb or the pole that might have been there or something. But he's figured all of that out. Oh, here I'm making an extension of that hello that I cut out from a Project Life card. So it's going to be like, instead of like, hello, it's like, hello, seriously, this is happening? That's kind of how the title's going to go. But anyway, Carlton, so now that he's more comfortable, and he's taller than I am, but getting in the car after him, it's like Shelby drove, who's 5'3". Carlton is almost 5'8", I'd say. He's just about as tall. Well, actually, he is as tall as his dad. Eric thinks he's not, but he really is. But anyway, he likes to be right up on that wheel, and I'm like, son, you have these big feet and long legs. How can you drive like this? And I don't know. It's just how he's comfortable. So anyway. Oh, and I want to mention that after this particular game, we had met my husband at the ballpark, so there were 2 vehicles there, and I ended up driving the truck home, and he drove with Carlton home and let Carlton drive. Well, Carlton thought it was funny to leave his nasty cleats in my car. So then I don't even think I used my car the next day, but the day after that, when I hopped in my car and those ripe-smelling cleats were in my back seat, needless to say, I was not happy. He thought it was hilarious, and so did his sisters. But yeah, my car stunk for a couple days. I wasn't exactly thrilled with him, but he said, I just wanted to let you know I was thinking of you, Mom. I'm like, thanks, son. So anyway. He can drive by himself the very first day of school in August, so he's pretty excited about that. And I have to say, I love having a driver in the house. I was panicked and nervous at first when Rachel first started driving, and at that time we had a Suburban, so her and Shelby both had to learn how to drive the Suburban. We still have the pickup, so Carlton drives both, but the Suburban was big car, had lots of kind of like spots in the windshield where, it was kind of hard to see things. So you really had to kind of move your head around and make sure, blind spots. That's what I'm trying to say, blind spots on the car. So, you really have to turn your head when changing lanes and, pay attention. And I think he would have done fine with that as well. And then the car that the kids drive, no, we do not buy them their own vehicles. They drive the 94 Dodge Stratus that we have. We bought it brand new, and it's a 5-speed. We feel it's very important for the kids to learn how to drive a stick shift. And so now that he's doing really well with the automatic, we're going to start here in the next week or 2 with teaching him how to drive that, because that's what he's going to be driving first day of school. So he's going to have all summer to get comfortable with the stick shift. And Rachel hated it at first. She's like, I hate this car. I stall it all the time. And my husband's like, Rachel, soon you're going to love it because you drive the car. You have more control. And in bad weather or if you're stuck somewhere, you're going to love having a stick shift more so. And it's true. All the kids say that they love the stick shift better than the standard or the automatic. And actually their friends are pretty impressed, especially the guys, that the girls know how to drive a stick shift, because a lot of them don't. So that's always been kind of a cool thing. And they've taught their friends how to drive the car. They'll go into a empty school parking lot or something and at night or whatever and teach their friends how to drive stick shift. So that's pretty cool. So here you see I'm adhering these little cutouts that I took from the Amy Tan 6x6 paper pad, and in red ink I circled the day Monday because that's what day this was, and I'm tucking this other up underneath the Lily Bee Design letters that I have. Those alphas, I thought they'd be great because I got lots of colors and they were small, so I could, have lots of options, and I do like them. The only thing I don't like is half the time they peel off of the sticky part is still on the sticker sheet while the colored part comes off when I'm trying to pull it off the sheet. So a lot of times I have to use my glue pen or something to adhere them down. So that's my only complaint about those. I don't know if anybody else has had those complaints or not, but those are mine. So anyway, I was mimicking the hashtags that she had put on the picture underneath her Instagram photo, and I have debated about cropping that part off of the photo, and I was like, no, because I want people to know where I got those hashtag ideas and sayings from. It was from my daughter, and so I just decided to leave them on. And the alphas I was using didn't have hashtags, so I got into my stash and I got out some wood veneer. I had an alphabet set. I believe it was from Studio Calico, and I just pulled out 2 hashtag or number signs. Some people call them the number sign. And for the red, I used my chalk ink that I got free from my Scraptastic kit. It's called Ladybug. And then I just used, for the other one, my black Stays On ink pad. And I decided to take a car out of the Traveler set that I recently purchased, and 2 potty people. I used, even though there were 3 of us in the car, I just did 1 boy and 1 girl as brother and sister, because that's what this whole page is about. And I'm really loving how it's turning out, and that, this is just a random everyday moment. It was nothing planned. It was just something my daughter, was realizing that, she's figuring out, as you get older and you leave people behind, you still think of them as being the same age as when you left. And that is oh so true. I'm getting ready to go to my cousin's wedding, and I still see her sometimes as this, young girl that I would see during the summers and babysit for. And here she's getting married, and I'm not feeling old. I'm just in awe that she's this age. So anyway, these are 2 pieces that these were 2 separate cards. It says right now and then the hello, and they were from Project Life, and I cut them out and to make them look chalkboard-ish for the challenge. I'm using my white gel pen, and I am just outlining them, and it matches the actual chalk tag that I just put on top of my son's picture. And I also, excuse that morning hair there. I also liked those 2 cards because the black isn't super black. It kind of had that washed black look like a chalkboard does. So I really had so much fun making this page, and how Nancy and I, challenged ourselves with this color combo and using things from our stash. This is going to be a wonderful design team, just for the fact I've made some great friends, and we were friends before being picked for the design team, but just getting to work directly with them and talking with them often has been so great. And I'm just excited to create this summer. My next challenge, I'm going to be teamed up with Tuesday, and you will see that in July, as we all take turns with the weekends. So I will continue making, my own personal scrapbooking videos on my channel, but every once in a while you will see me with a design team member for the Saturday Stash Dive, and I'm very excited about that. So I hope you get inspired by this page. Here I just cut out from the Here and Now collection by Lori Whitlock, and it was the chalkboard cut aparts. I cut out an arrow that says captured and one that says remember. And underneath where you see me adhering that dot, my finger had accidentally smudged a little bit of red when I was pressing that ampersand on. It wasn't quite dry and I smudged a little red. So I just decided to take out some enamel dots and I covered it up. Not a problem. I was thinking I was going to do black or red, but because the map paper and the captured and the remember chalkboard arrows are a little lighter, more of a grayish, I decided to use these. Actually, they're kind of silvery, not sparkled, but they have a sparkle kind of look to them, and I thought it was a perfect neutral, so to speak. And I use up this arrow, both of these arrows, the black and this gray from a previous kit. And here I took out this DIY set I haven't used. I've had it for a while, and it says I took out this tiny little thing. It says, "Can you believe this?" And it fits perfectly right up above on that "Here we go" cutout. There are 2 dotted lines and it fits perfectly right in between there. So I was really proud of myself. And again, I used that ladybug red. And here I'm just going to do a little bit of journaling, and excuse that morning hair again. Oh my goodness. But you know, I was drawing lines, freehanding some lines, and I'm going to hold it up here in just a moment and you'll be able to see what I wrote. And I did put the date on that card where I circled the Monday. I put May 2014 underneath. And on the tab up there above Carlton's picture, I just wrote Carlton, age 16. Very random picture. He's not even looking at the picture. Oh, and he has white pants on. That was the other color combo color. But it's an everyday moment documented, and I love it. So I'm going to be holding up the finished. Oh, wait, no. I decided to use my Route 66 by Tattered Angels. When it dries, it goes on super light, but when it dries, it's this gray, but it has tiny black flecks in it. And again, so it pulls in that black and the lighter gray pieces from the arrow and the enamel dots and the map paper, actually, even though it's a cream and black. To me, it's more neutral. So here you go. Here's the finished product. I hope you love this. If you love this as much as I do, please let YouTube know by giving it a thumbs up and leave a comment. They do pay attention to that. And thank you so much for joining me on my first design team project. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Bye.